I mean, this is probably gonna be a wild opinion, but in the Paco Rabanne lineup, there's one fragrance that I recently acquired that absolutely took the reins as one of my favorite in that Paco Rabanne 1 million space. And that's that Golden Oud. That green emerald bottle absolutely just triggered everything that I enjoy about a niche fragrance in designer form. It's a very Middle Eastern type fragrance, which if that's not your type of vibe, this is gonna be a fragrance that totally forget about. But the thing is that a lot of the Paco Rabanne 1 million fragrances share that very specific DNA. Ultra sweet, F-boy energy, youthful chamaquito aka young kid kind of vibe. And there's nothing wrong with that, as I know multiple older dudes who rock that fragrance and still get massive amount of compliments. But for me and my personal taste and looking for a designer fragrance that has bold, resinous, maybe even challenging notes, I think they killed it with this scent. Now it's not wildly expensive, it's still in that 150-ish, 160-ish range, but of course, wherever you go looking, you will find a cheaper alternative. And this one is Launo 1 million Golden Oud, which just by box presentation, you get the hint. But are they close? Only one way to find out. Let's roll the music so we can check out the budget interpretation of Golden Oud by Launo? Launo?
We're all alone in the pillar of the river, yeah. There's some friends on the south side in case you cared. Out of all your friends, I wanna be
Blessed morning, my beautiful peoples. You know who it is. It's your boy 𝐷𝐶𝗿 balling on a budget is the name of the game. I really like this scent, and I'm usually the first one to be like, hey, I like originals and I like having the interpretations of the scent. I haven't unboxed this joint yet. I just taken the cellophane off, so I don't know if it's a 1-to-1, but I'm always Gucci carrying both. But if you can get all the same nuances of this fragrance at half the price, go for it. As my infamous saying goes, you're not wearing the fragrance bottle around your neck and marketing it to multiple people around you, hoping that they give you a compliment because you're wearing a designer brand name fragrance around your neck. Like, that's stupid. So here's what this bottle looks like. I mean, it definitely does not look like the original 1 million bottle, which I didn't think it would anyway, but it's all about the scent, right? So essentially in this fragrance, we gotta figure out if we're going or that's pretty much it. We're gonna clone it or own it. So the first thing I'm gonna do on the own it test strip is spray the original, just so I can be refreshed, get my nostrils on point to have a point of reference to go off of when smelling the interpretation. Let's go with the original Paco Rabanne 1 million Golden Oud. Leathery, smoky, slightly dry, a little oudy action, but super wearable. Very rich, very deep, slightly resinous, and underlying ambery kind of flow. Little mists of like sweetened bacar, almost incensey, maybe a little bit like a chestnut vibe off the test strip. It's a beautiful scent. I mean, if you blindfolded someone and asked them, yo, is this niche or designer? A lot of them might potentially choose niche because of the scent profile. This is not something that the designer space really checks for. Like, the designer space is looking to generate sales, get you mass appealing compliments, and obviously appeal to a really wide demographic, which this fragrance may not, because it is a little bit, I mean, in the designer scheme, challenging, but I don't find it to be. This shit is absolutely fantastical, but let's smell that new Launo or whatever. This shit, the cheaper version, and see how close it is to the original Golden Oud. All right, here we go. Not really. It comes off a little harsh and synthetic on the opening. There's a little bit of a perfumer's alcohol punch, so it needs a minute for sure. It's probably gonna be a lot better on the skin, and we'll definitely do a skin comparison as well. But let's start off with the first impressions on the test strip. Let me give it a couple of minutes and let that perfumer's alcohol and all the notes actually do what they're supposed to do to see if I get any resemblances to the original Golden Oud. All right, it's been a minute or two. Let's see what's up with the scent. I do get the Middle Eastern essence, but comparatively, at least on the test strip, not very close actually. Maybe in facets of light, sweet, bacarish kind of smoke and leather, but nah. The original one on test strip is a lot bolder, a lot more dynamic, a lot more impressive than the cheap version. The cheap one isn't bad, but it just doesn't resemble the original. Perfumer's alcohol and all that shit kind of reduced down a bit. I think we're gonna have to do this on skin because I'm not picking up, as far as closeness is concerned, maybe 15 to 20%, maybe. Again, not a bad scent, but just if it's actually taking interpretation from the original, I'm not finding it like that. Minus like one or two little things here and there, and I'm digging for those. Let's go on skin. All right, so on the bracelet hand, I'm gonna go with the clone interpretation. One good spray, here's the atomizer, decent. And on the watch hand, I'm gonna go original. So again, this side, Golden Oud OG, this one, clone. All right, let me give it a couple of seconds and let it dry down so we can truly figure out if this is a good, cheaper alternative than this on skin. All right, let's go clone. Very weak, faint, struggling to find it. I did find it, but yeah, I'm kind of the same energy. A little bit of a 𝗙𝐿ish, sweet, smoky 𝗏𝐾𝐲 kind of essence. Sweet incensey. There's a little bit of a oud action there. I'm getting some cumin-esque kind of BO funkish, which to me kind of reminds me of oud, but it's not in the same space as the original, nor is it a subtle interpretation of the original. Again, I'm gonna stick with my initial interpretation. It's about maybe 15% close, if that. Decently cheaper, but it's not in the same space, and you're not gonna be able to replace this with this. That's, you know, kind of the idea. Is it a bad scent? No. It's a little light in the ass. Granted, it's just one spray, so it's a little light in the ass, but this one is also one spray, and it's not light in the ass. Yeah, I'm gonna have to stick with the OG version. If you're looking for Golden Oud and you smelled Golden Oud at the spot, but you're looking for a cheaper alternative, this for me is not a good alternative to get that same scent profile. You're gonna get mild nuances of it, but for me, off of my skin or test strip, it's a no-go. I love y'all mother suckers from the heart. Either way, I'll put links in the description to both of these fragrances. You can make your own determination. Again, not a bad scent, but it ain't this. I'll see y'all bitches next time. You know who it is, biggest in the gang. Smooches.
Cubaknow, what's fresh? Who's best? One of them's gonna pass the test. Cubaknow.
For the fly gun holder, money folder, molar roller, start tag when it's time to call back. For the rough, rugged, and raw way, this nigga Jay, it's a game, but he don't play. Hey, for all the chicks that got dead in the penthouse suite on top of my mom's crib. It's nonsense you never get in. It's nonsense that you would think that you would.